Now, you know, Ted Cruz must love himself some Ronald Reagan, which, and he takes every opportunity to say so. During this particular clip, when they ask him a question, he's going to fall back to the Star Wars program of Ronald Reagan, which, as soon as I heard that, I had to laugh. Here it goes.
Move on to Senator Cruz. Senator, we have some breaking news tonight. North Korea's dictator, Kim Jong-un, has ordered that country's nuclear weapons to be made ready at a moment's notice. Yes. And this comes just hours after the UN Security Council approved the toughest sanctions in 2 decades against that country. Assume you're President Cruz tonight. What do you do?
Well, you're right. The news is very disturbing that Kim Jong-un has put their nuclear weapons on ready state. I'm glad that we're sending another carrier group to the South China Sea. I'm glad that Congress passed sanctions on North Korea. But this is all the result of the failures of the Clinton administration 2 decades ago that negotiated a deal with North Korea, lifting the sanctions, allowing billions of dollars to flow in, and they used that money to develop nuclear weapons in the first place.
Now, that is true. Clinton fucked up on that one.
Now we're in a much harder position. When you have a lunatic with nuclear weapons, to some extent it constrains your options. We need to be moving the carrier group to the South China Seas. We need to be putting in place missile defense, such as the THAAD missile defense system in South Korea. We need to be pursuing space-based missile defense. One of the advantages of space-based missile defense is that if you have a missile launch in North Korea or you have a missile launch in Iran, a space-based missile defense can take out 1 or 2 or 3 missiles before it can cross over and do damage. And we also need to be putting pressure on China because North Korea is effectively a client state of China. All of that will happen with a strong commander-in-chief that is devoted to keeping this country safe.
Thank you, sir.
Now, if you notice, he lost his train of thought during that response for a couple of seconds. Okay, now, what the hell does he think China's going to do if you put in a missile defense system into South Korea? And what do you think the North Koreans are going to do? You know, these guys don't think this stuff through. Now, that may be the way that you have to go, but you know, he needs to, he needs to further expand upon the effects, because it's always cause and effect. He needs to expound upon the effect that putting a missile-based system into South Korea would have as far as further destabilizing that particular region. And he also needs to expound on the Chinese creating, in my opinion, a major military base of operations in the South China Sea. And we're sitting there looking at them with our thumbs up our ass.